Hello, everyone. Hello. Sorry about before. I had the aspect ratio changed for when I record, and I changed it back, but like the output ratio kind of like it it like changed itself. So instead of being like the normal, it like re-ratioed itself to 360. So that was a bit cursed. Apologies. Also, excuse like heavy breathing and or sniffles today. My allergies are actually killing me. It's really bad. So I was trying to actually record a video before we started. I just decided I'll stream and we'll make the video on the stream. I already recorded the intro to the last video, but I also made the video too long, but also just tried to record the video and my throat felt like it was being attacked. And my allergies were dying. Hello, and yes, welcome in. Thank you. It's something I have to deal with every year. It's just allergies, and there's nothing I can do about it. The last time I tried to take allergy medicine, so like, the thing about that is that when I was prescribed it, because I'm allergic to basically everything outside, like every single type of pollen, every single type of grass, pat dander, yes. But like, not allergic to where I'll die, but allergic to where I can't breathe with certain things. Like I can't be around fresh cut grass. It like makes my skin itchy, and like my sinuses are draining and my throat gets all swollen. You know, things. Not great things. So unfortunately it is what it is. So they tried to prescribe me allergy medicine, and you take it every day, and I took it, and then I woke up feeling like nauseous the first day, and the second day I woke up feeling nauseous again, and this is when I was younger. I was like a teenager, and so the next day I felt nauseous. I felt so nauseous, like I was going to like puke. And my grandfather was in the bathroom. So I remember running outside to the back porch where we keep our trash and opening like a trash bag and throwing up in there. I threw up like straight blood. So what was happening was I didn't have a good reaction to the allergy medicine, I guess. And my nose was bleeding down my throat in my sleep, which is why I woke up feeling nauseous, and then why I threw up blood. Which ironically, I told the doctor that, like the recent doctors I've had now, and one of them like dead ass looked at me and they're like, "Are you sure?" I was just like, "Am I sure? What do you mean? And what do you mean, am I sure?" No, bro, I made it up. I totally made it up. I want to suffer with allergies. So I made up totally. I don't understand people. Okay. So, the video we're gonna make today, I'm gonna try to make it brief. If you guys want more detailed video about what these guys actually do ability-wise, let me know, because I would love to break down individual videos for them. But because there are 23 of them, we're gonna try to be as brief as possible for this video. And I'm just going to be talking about my opinions of the character as a whole, and if they're on the selection banner, whether you should pull for them. That's it. And I'm going to try to be as brief as possible. Okay? So after I'm done with that, if there's someone in particular you're curious about just because they look pretty or whatever, like tell me, and I can record individuals for those. The more content I have, the more content I can put out. And yeah, so I'm going to try to go to the minimum, because the last time I made the video, I went too into depth and I almost ended up with like 45 minutes. And I was like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. We got to be shorter than that. It's got to be like 10 to 15 minutes long. Anything longer than that is too long. All right, so let's get into it. And I just ask if you guys have any questions, please hold it for the end. Also, because again, we're recording content for Etheria. I'm trying to bang this content out, guys. I really want to be part of their content creator program. So everything is hidden. I think I think I also hit alerts, but I still see the alert stuff. The sound effects will still play for like mix it up and things like that. It's just the stuff won't come on the screen, and everything like that. And if you're not interested in this game, you're just here to vibe, that's okay too. Just vibe with me. Okay. All right. Oh, starting off with Doki Doki, my feelings about Doki Doki in general is that she's really, really strong support. Do I think she's a must-have? Absolutely not. She is a lighter dark character, which makes her harder to pull, and that goes for any like lighter dark character or apex character as they're known as. So I don't feel like she's a must pull. I don't feel like if someone has her on her team that they're automatically going to be in the best in the game. Absolutely not. But I do feel like she's overall a really strong character to have and a really strong buffer to have. And it's good for teams like if you have Zeta, for example. So really strong pick. I really like her and I really like how she looks. The next character is Messiah. I did have him, I built him, and my overall feeling about him is that if you aren't running cooldown, like characters who give cooldown with him, he's kind of a one and done. You cast his abilities, he does big bursty damage, but then that's pretty much it. And it's not really good for when you're in PvE for the long drawn out boss fights. He kind of falls off and you have this middle ground of not really being able to do much while you're waiting on his cooldowns. So I say for him, unless you have someone that has cooldown reduction or turn meter stuff, for him, I just don't think he's solid to do with those fights. The next character is Lily. I absolutely adore her. She's a turn meter manipulator like Doki Doki, and she gives buffs. She's really solid and is really good for follow-ups or assists as they call them in here. I think overall she's really solid to have and she's really freaking cute. Heinrich, I said this before, and if you weren't here for it, I'll say it again. He is ugly as sin. I said it. He looks like a Schedule 1 character, but... oh, I forgot TikTok. I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna have to cut this because I forgot. I'm so sorry, TikTok. You can't see anything. Now you can. All right. Let's start over. So, I said this before about Heinrich. He's ugly as sin. He looks like a Schedule 1 character, but he is really, really strong. He applies a bunch of debuffs. He can do a lot of damage, and there's never a moment in combat where I feel like he's not giving anything. So really solid to have overall, but will not make or break whether you have him on your team. The next character is Sonya. I feel personally upset about this character, and it's not because of the character. She does dot, which is really, really nice, and I think she has the potential to do a lot of damage. Her problem is that her full kit relies solely on dot, and it's not consistent enough and fast enough in the current meta to be able to excel the way I feel like she needs to. So while I feel like she has the potential, she needs a lot more build-up and a lot more support to help her get there. And as a lighter dark character, I feel like we can do better, devs. We can do better, okay? But, you know, in general, I absolutely love her. I have played with her some, and I do think she has that potential. Next character is Freya. She's on the limited banner. A lot of people say that she's overhyped. I don't feel that way. She's a really, really solid buffer. She can literally slot into any team. She is beautiful. I love her animations, okay? Love this character so much, and I do think she's worth pulling if you want her. Next character is Rahu. He applies a good amount of debuffs. He has his own little personal passive with his stacks that we're not going to get into. Overall, I think he's a really solid character. He's also very aesthetically pleasing, okay? All his abilities, everything is very aesthetically pleasing. So, yes, I think he's good and solid for you to have. Next is Lilith. She applies debuffs as well. She can be a really big menace to the enemy team. The only weakness she has is if you have an enemy team that has invisibility, like for example Messiah. Otherwise, she's really, really freaking solid, and I think anybody would enjoy having her on their team because, yeah, she's a cutie pie. Next is Real Mocha. I started off with Real Mocha. I think she has very high damage potential, but she's a little quirky in how you have to get her stuff going. And her clears early game feels slower than a lot of other characters that I've tried on other accounts that I re-rolled. So personally, I don't really like how she feels early, but she is an absolute menace late game. So you have to kind of keep that in mind with how you go. But it could have just been my starting off team, which might have given me that feeling. So you might have had better luck with her. In general, I think she's a solid pick, but I personally won't be picking her again. The next character is Selene. I think she is highly underrated. She was actually reworked before this beta. She can apply shields, she does dot damage, she makes you forget your passive so the enemy team can't use it. Like, super solid overall, all well-rounded unit, and she is adorable and amazing to use. The next unit is Kloss. She applies a lot of debuffs. She can steal turn meter. She is very cute. She is giving Sombra, okay? So, yes, I think solid unit to have, really good unit, and you can't go wrong with having her. Rosa is really good as she does do follow-up damage based off of her allies applying a crit hit, like doing a crit hit. However, that means that she doesn't go with Born. We'll get to Born in a second. Otherwise, as long as your character does well with crits and does do crits, Rosa is apex because those follow-up hits hit for a lot and will hurt, and plus Rosa is really nice to look at. Next character is Tsukiyomi. She gives buffs, she helps her team, she gives turn meter. Like, she is solid. She's a really solid unit. Do I think she's better than Freya? No. But do I feel like she's still good? Absolutely yes, and would be a solid unit for your team if you want her, and she's kind of a cutie pie. Next unit, Born. I told you we would get here. Born has a passive where he cannot deal crit, so do not build crit on him. Do not have a support with him that does crits, okay? He wants attack. Attack, attack, attack. That's it. Attack. All of his stuff scales off of attack. He gets more max HP based off of his attack, which also helps his damage. However, his ultimate, you have to have more than one character. You have to have 4 or more. So he's weak when it comes to dealing with single enemies because he doesn't get the maximum benefit of his ultimate. So he's kind of like a give and take, but he's really solid for PvP. Okay, so really solid and will make your early clears really freaking good. Okay, I have him on one of my reroll accounts. Super strong. I adore him. He's great. Just remember the 2 follow-ups that I said, but his attack scaling is also really good. Next unit is Lingluo. Now we're gonna get this unit for free. When the game goes live, you get her at the 7-day login once you've completed everything, and I will show you guys that at a later point in time. But best healer in the game, period. You don't need another healer ever. Not with this unit. This unit heals on every single ability. She can purify stuff. Like, she is just really freaking good. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I love her. Next unit is Tiamat. If you're a free to play or a low spender, I would say she's a solid unit you can pick up because she does give shields. She does do a taunt. She has an alternate form where she does a lot of damage. However, her early game scaling is not really that good in my opinion because I've tried her with early game, but I believe her mid and late game scaling is really solid. I don't think she outputs as much DPS as other units, but as free to play or low spender, she doesn't really need much and she builds off HP, which is easier to get. So pretty solid. Kind of like apply that as to whatever you feel like you need. Next unit is Zeta. She scales off buffs. She literally gets a stack on her passive every 3 buffs she gets, and she can have a 10% chance to steal buffs. So she is really good once she can scale, but because she has to scale, it makes her slower. That being said, it puts her at a disadvantage in PvP unless you have enough buffs on your team and enough speed on your team to give her the amount of buffs that she needs to properly scale up, making her a high investment for a team. So if you're a free to play or a low spender, I would not recommend Zeta just because of the amount of investment you need to make her pop off. She can do it without all of that, but she has a harder time and she won't be able to accurately compete in PvP, and in those long drawn out fights for in-games for PvE, she's gonna struggle a bit. So just make sure you know that. The next unit is Hellkid. I think he's pretty solid because he gives a very chunky shield with invincibility where you can get debuffs, and he does do a lot of attack damage. He scales off attack damage. His shield scale off attack damage. However, he is not a main DPS. Let me be clear about that. He is not a main DPS. He is more of a sub DPS. You will find that his scaling and what he does when you fully build him is not as good as other DPSs. If you're fine with that and you want to run him as main DPS anyway, that is perfectly fine because he is solid. But I feel, in how I play him on my team currently, he's more of a sub DPS, and he does do debuffs on the enemy team, which is also really, really good. And the next unit is Chloris. Chloris has a hard time scaling. Let me say that. Hard time scaling. They gave him some buffs. It's still not good enough. He doesn't do really well in PvP. It takes him a little while. He's okay against some bosses in PvE because those are long drawn out fights. But in general, I would not recommend picking him because he's just not a very solid unit right now. Next unit, this is the unit you start off with that you get for free at the very start of the game, okay? Her name is Leon. She scales off buffs. She scales faster than Zeta, which makes it good for free to play because you also get her for free. She does deal fire. She can be really, really strong. However, she's not as strong as, you know, other DPS characters, but she's a really solid unit. However, when it comes to PvP, be prepared that everyone is going to have Leon. So because you can't use the same unit, she can be taken from you. So you have to keep that in mind. But in PvE, I think she's perfectly fine as long as you build her correctly. The next unit is Veronica. Now, Veronica, early game, you're gonna struggle. I'm not gonna lie. Early game, you're gonna struggle. She is someone that applies debuffs. She also applies some buffs. She also, by stealing the enemy team's buffs, which makes her ideal for PvP because she can steal the enemy's buffs and give it to your ally. She has a 50% chance to steal all buffs from one enemy and give it to every single one of your allies, which each buff has a different percent chance. That being said, she is also very sexy and I adore her. So, but I think it's more pertinent for you to get her mid to late game, build her then, because she's also really good against your late game bosses to steal like immunity from them. But early game, you're gonna struggle, so I wouldn't pick her early game. Next character is Mia. Mia's a healer. She can dispel she can dispel buffs. She can give a single shield to an ally, and she does an AoE heal. Great. But she's still not as good as Linglo. I would not pick her on the selection banner. We're getting a free healer anyway. There's literally no point. If you end up with her, it's fine. You can use her. But Lingluo is the better healer. But at least you'll have her as a backup when everyone else has Lingluo in PvP. So you can at least have another healer to play if Lingluo gets taken. And the last SSR. This is Beotin, and I feel like she's highly underrated. She gives buffs to the entire team. She has something called Underworld Flower, which she gets 2 stacks when she ults, which she can revive a fallen ally. And they revive with X amount of HP, and their turn meter gets increased. And she does cooldown reduction, so she's good for like Messiah, for example, who really needs that cooldown reduction. She's really solid overall in general, like super solid unit and highly underrated. Yeah. So that is all the SSR characters. However, I would say this to you. If you're starting off with Leon, do know that, again, other people are going to have her in PvP, as well as she doesn't do as well as some other DPSs. So when it comes to your selection banner, I would not focus on getting another support or a buffer unless you really, really, really want them, which is perfectly fine because you're free to pick whatever you want. I would instead focus on maybe getting another DPS so you have that backup DPS to help you clear content. But it's kind of like what you want and how you feel you need to in the current situation as it goes. If you're pulling on Freya, you could also maybe get some other units, some SR units that are really good. So keep that in mind too. But that is pretty much it for the end of the recording for this YouTube video. I wanted to get everything out for you guys, and hopefully if you guys like that, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time, me and stream. So bye everyone. Okay, sorry everybody. I was trying to get that video recorded. I saw you guys asking questions on TikTok. I promise you I saw them. I wasn't ignoring you. I was recording a video for YouTube, so I wanted to get all that information out. I have allergies going on right now, so I like can't breathe through my nose and I feel stuffy and my throat is dying, but I'm trying here. So thank you for answering the questions. So yes, this game is a theory of restart. It's not out yet. It's an open beta currently right now. The game goes live on God, I'm losing my voice. I'm so sorry. The game goes live on June the 8th. So yes, I'm also making a guide for how free to play the game is, and everything like that. So basically, I don't know everything, but I do know a lot. So if you guys have questions or there's something you want to see or something specific about a specific character, please ask me. I am here. I'm a nerd. I like information. I will do my best to answer your questions. Who did your VTuber? This is a custom VTuber by Misu. I actually have a 2.0 coming out later on this year, this summer. But yeah, this one was done by Misu and it's amazing and I love it. Are you playing on mobile or PC? I am playing on PC. Are you gonna reroll? I am not because well, I am, but I'm not. So hear me out. So what I'm gonna do, because I want to be able to take the perspective of like a mid-spender and a free-to-play when I make my content. So I've re-rolled free-to-play accounts on the beta. So what I'm going to do when it goes live is, because I was gifted to be able to spend on my main game, so I can't re-roll that because of the rebate that you get back for spending, but I am going to be re-rolling my free-to-play accounts when it goes live. So yeah, and I'm going to be looking for people that I didn't get on my live account. Oh, we got level 35. We got more stuff unlocked. Let's go. Is this game on console? It's not. It's on mobile and PC, and as far as I know, that's what it's going to be on launch. I don't know if they have intentions for doing console later, because the thing about console and why most games don't launch starting on console is kind of the same reason why some games only launch on mobile, because the platforms are different, and especially with console, you have to go through different licensing. So for example, like Sony licensing is different than Xbox licensing. Most of the time, if you get the licensing for PC, getting the licensing for Xbox isn't too bad, but then you have to be able to translate your game to be able to be playable on the Xbox. And that's a whole nother slew of things. But then when it comes to, well, people want it on PlayStation, that's a whole nother thing too, because on PlayStation, that's a whole different license, and it's kind of, Sony can kind of be a jerk sometimes with some things. Not to mention also Nintendo. Nintendo's a little bit strict, as well as you have to be prepared for, like, Nintendo, like, let's be honest, they are a class of their own, but it also means that their graphics and specs aren't usually up to par to the other consoles. So it's a little bit of give and pull. But I think they were talking about, because someone was talking about cooldowns to be in like the point form. So we'll see. I don't know yet, but I haven't heard any news about console yet. But of course, usually with time, something like that would come. When does it come out? It comes out on June 8th. And this is my paid account. So some of the things I've done, and I'm further on this account than the others' accounts, but that being said, I can show you guys some stuff. I can show you the events, and the thing about the events though, I don't know how many of these events are going to be going to live. Theoretically, I think they all should be, but just keep in mind that there's a possibility that some might not, but I hope they all do. That's what I say. I hope they all do. I hope 100%. So just take what I'm telling you about events with a grain of salt, but you know, they could all possibly be going live. I know that the 7-day login one definitely is. The game is called Etheria Restart. It's a turn-based combat game, but instead of having open world like HSR, it's all menu based, which some people like, some people don't like. It just kind of depends up to your preference. So thank you for the follow. I'm not going to go to the purchase rebate because it doesn't apply to live. The purchase rebate is, well, I'll show you. The purchase rebate is literally when you make purchases, as it says, like during the final test. So this is not valid for live. I can tell you that right now. You have this. This is the festive rewards. I feel like we'll probably be going live. I was gifted the money to spend on this, so I was fortunate to be able to do that. And essentially, if you're considering spending money when it goes live, I can just tell you about that. Of course, you don't have to, because this game so far has been very, very generous, at least for beta, and I hope it remains the same for launch, because this final test is supposed to be close to launch. So fingers crossed that it just carries over. But if you're curious, so you get rewards for gaining festive points. Basically, each point is worth $1. So you gain it in increments here. So $5, 15, sorry, my hand's in the way, $30, $60, $80, and $100, basically. So for spending things in the game, this is what you get. There's also here, sorry, been claimed here. So this is Valerian. I can't. She's an SR unit. So for basically spending any amount, like any amount in the game, even if it's just $1, you get her, you get a free 10 pull, and you get like 100,000 coins. There's also some bundles, which again, I got gifted the money, so I purchased it. Cool, moving on. But there's this bundle right here behind my head. It's a $1 bundle, like, and I spoke about this before. Like, if you're a low spender and you're like, okay, I'll spend like $21 and that's it. I know that's an odd number, but listen, hear me out. What game is that? It's Etheria Restart. So if you are looking to like, you know, you're like, I'll spend $21. That's it though. You can buy the battle pass for like $10, which already gets you this, right? You can buy the beginner pack for $1. That's 10 pulls. Then there was another pack for $5. That's another 10 pull. So that's 16. And then I think there was one more thing left, but it equaled out to about $21. And in the end, you end up with like 35 or 45 pulls for $20. So if you're a low spender, like those beginning packs are really nice. Here on this page, I don't know if this will be on live, because yeah, but you can hit you hit watch and it gives you like free crystal. Then they have this 7-day check-in. I don't know if they're going to do this for live. I kind of hope they do, because this 7-day check-in gives you 40 pulls straight up for 7 days, which is really freaking nice. I don't know if it'll reset after the week, but it does give you 40 pulls, which is again really nice. And then you have your 7-day commission, which is what I told you about. You complete all these missions daily, which I still have like 2 left. And at the end, you're going to receive Linguo. And then they also have a phase 2, which when you complete it, gives you this little thing here. I'm trying to make sure, yeah, TikTok, you guys can see that. And what it is it pulls up a specific banner and you pull on it with this pull. And it gives you a free SSR. Like, it's random, but it's a free SSR for the pull for completing all this for free, which you'd be here. So there's that. There's this, which is Lethal Pursuit. So these are the bosses you farm for, like, excuse me, for gear and stuff. And the same thing here. This and the same thing here. So once you defeat those bosses and etc., you do get crystals and stuff. So that's also another nice place for you to earn some rewards. They have hyperlink invite, so you can literally just click on these 4 links. I know you can't see them all, but there's 4, and you get 50 crystals per each. They have Animus Refigure here. So basically what this is that once you build a character, if you want to unbuild them, you can literally throw them in this and get back all the resources you spend on them, which is really, really nice. However, let me be very clear. It says it on the screen, but I just want to make sure you guys realize this. You can only use this 1 time for free. After that, it costs crystal and it scales. So the second time is 200 crystals. The third time is 400 crystals. The 4th time is 600, and the 5th time is 800 crystals. So it does go up. So I caution you, especially if you're free to play low spender, do not use this recklessly. Use it when you're sure. And I actually have a good idea for you if you want to hear it in just a second for it. What game? This game is called Etheria Restart. And yes, we will be doing gameplay. I'm sorry. I'm just going over events real quick. There's also this that's going on, that you get rewards for just completing the story. And in total, you get 12 standard pulls, and then you get a recolored skin for Leon, the free character you get. So that's nice. Then they also have growth boost, which goes to level 30. You can get 100 crystals for each of the levels you get to, and there's some pulls, and there's a skin for Gray. So now on top of that, so what I was talking about with the Animus reconfigure, if you don't like Leon, okay, if you don't like Leon, you're going to have to build her. And the reason I say that is because you get rewards here. And I know TikTok, you guys can't see the other side, but you get like pulls, you get materials, a lot of good stuff. And essentially you're going to have to build her completely out, run her with the bosses to max out on the stuff. I don't have her completely built out, but basically you build her out, you get all the resources. If you don't like her, do that anyway for the free resources. And then you can come back to that event once all of that's finished, do the Animus reconfigure, throw her in there, and get all those resources back if you don't like her. So that is an option, but like I said, be very frugal with it because the first one's the only one's free. You do have daily quests. They aren't immediately available when you start the game. You have to do like X on the story. But once they are available, you do dailies. It's really easy. You just basically you play the game, you go farm your resources, and you can basically get this, which is really nice. So the game is called Eternal what? It's called Etheria Restart. And then you also have your weekly quest as well, and it just gives you some materials. As you can see, there's a pool here for the next one, which is really, really nice. Under Hyperlink Charter, you also have stuff for just playing the game. As you can see, I've completed some stuff here that gives you pulls and materials and things like that. You have stuff for doing things for your shells, which are like your echoes if you play Woo-Wah, for example. Think of it kind of like that. Module modification, this is just for getting your gear. Leveling it up, you get a lot of free rewards here. Arena trials, this is for playing the PvP mode, and you get rewards for doing that. Now, if you are a free-to-play player and you're like, you know, I don't really care about PvP. I know I'm not going to have the best stuff, or I just don't really care to have the best stuff. Whatever. I'll just show you. So the rewards, if you do this every week, which is play 20 times, which for this mode, because there's 3, right? There's 3 different modes. So for Etherina, if I say that right, you just do this every day with your 5 tickets that you get. And after 5 days, I went to the wrong tab. After 5 days of doing this every day, you'll get the max rewards right here for the weekly. And then you'll also get rank up rewards if you rank up, which is 1,000. Not a huge deal though, and it's okay if you don't, because you also get rank rewards, period. So like, let's say you just stay in Iron, you just play your games, you don't really care, you just complete it. You still get 150 crystals every single week, and then 750 of the arena currency, which is really nice. And then at the end of the season, you get 300 crystal and 1500 of the currency. And then this is for the top people. And I'll show you what that store looks like for this specific currency. So for this currency, you get a perfect lattice, which is used to enhance your skills, which are very rare to get in this game. Evolution lattice, that's for your SR characters. I wouldn't worry about that unless you're leveling out an SR character. Basically, you get materials. Let me just say that, because I know that's a lot to explain. And then you do get 2 pulls. So it's really nice, because the 2 pulls, I believe this resets every week. So this shop at least resets every week. So that's 2 free pulls as free to play that you can get every week just for completing your challenges. And you'll actually have more currency than what that costs. Like literally, if you complete the challenge one time, get the 600, get your little weekly rank up rewards, that's more than enough to get your 2 pulls weekly, which is great. And thank you for the follow. Do you recommend pulling on standard banner for a chance of light and dark units? I've actually seen a lot of people, including myself, get light and dark units. So you can, but if you're free to play, I would kind of balance your options. Like if you're free to play, but you're not planning to pull on the Freya banner, which we can look at banners in a second, you absolutely can. I don't know the frequency of how often these banners are going to run. If we look at a typical gacha game, there's usually 2 limited banners, or sometimes 4 if they run, you know, 2 at the same time every single patch. So I don't know yet, because it is beta, whether they're going to run like the 2 characters they're running for the whole patch, or if they're going to run more. So that's something else you need to consider. However, I will say that as soon as a limited banner comes out, period, they are immediately available on the permanent banner. So, you know, but yeah, so with that being said, it's a little RNG is who you're gonna get, but there's so many characters and there's so many good characters, you can't really go wrong. So it's hard for me to recommend to say yes, just pull on standard, because I know that's not typically a thing, but it is a decent thing to pull on. And the pity for standard is lower than the pity for the limited banners. The limited banners is 100, where standard's 80. So, oh look, we have a random troll in the TikTok chat, guys. They're talking about being part of Dandy's World Femboy Roleplay. You know what? Whatever you like, dude. I'm happy for you. However you live your best life, I am proud of you. All right, so okay, so that covers Etharina. Now, Etharina is pretty simple to explain. You set up your formation, so you click formation, you select your 4 characters that you want to run, kind of like on defending, and then when you challenge, you can select who you challenge, because it comes up with 5 people. You can click on them, look at their teams. There's also a refresh button, so just make sure you're doing 5 every day. I haven't done mine yet, so I can show you guys how this works in a moment. And then the next one is called Summon Arena. Now this one's a little more rough. Okay, this one, you choose 5 characters, the enemy chooses 5 characters, you select back and forth. However, you cannot choose the same character. So if you're free to play low spender, that might make this a little rough for you, because everyone is getting the same free characters, right? So if, for example, if they pick first and they pick Leon and that's your only DPS, you're kind of SOL, right? So that's going to be a little bit difficult, but I think as free to play, you can still definitely do this. If we take a look at the rankings here, I know you can't see fully. There are some teams that are using SR units. I actually saw one the other day that was a full SR unit, which is crazy. So it is definitely possible. And you can play this mode as many times you want. It's just kind of frustrating at some times. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. As free to play or low spender, if you want to play PvP, you might have a slower start than everyone else, because you have to be able to get those pulls, but the game has been pretty generous to be able to get you new units, so hopefully you just get a lot of good luck. Also, I love Lily. I love Lily so freaking much. When I pulled her, I was like, holy crap, no way. Yes, I adore her. And the same thing kind of goes on, except for Summit Arena versus the other mode. It's not a weekly, it's a seasonal. I don't know how long the season lasts, but typically in games, a season will last for the entire patch, which usually lasts anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks in typical gacha games. So keeping that in mind, you have about 4 to 6 weeks to do all these to get your points if you want them all. Of course, there are rank up rewards, which gives you cosmetics, which is really nice, which are just recolors, and I can show you that as well. And then there's rank rewards. So again, if you're free to play, you're just fine chilling in Iron, you're fine just playing and getting a few rewards and calling it a day, that's fine, because at the end of the season, you still get gems, you still get points. My nose keeps itching, I'm so sorry. And then these are the top rewards, which we will not go over right now because I'm not even worried about that right now. This is the shop for that, essentially. So you can get the special light and dark pulls. You'd have to save about 1,500 points to get it there. This is 1,000 points, and you can get like a 10 pull on the standard banner. You can get some materials, and things like that. So pretty cool. For free to play, this is the best place for you to earn these apex pulls, these light and dark pulls. So keep that in mind. Oh, I am absolutely dying. My nose is itching. I feel it. I feel it, Mr. Krabs. So yeah. How hard are you going in PvP? I want to do well, but I don't think I'm gonna get top at all. I get too frustrated in PvP, to be honest. I get so frustrated. I just want to be able to do well enough to get like the cosmetics, like the recolors. By the way, there's packs and stuff in the store, and you can earn these through events. They're called I forgot what exactly the currency's called. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Can I get the actual name of it? Okay, Anima and Crystal Point. That's what they're called. Do not... Let me be clear. Especially if you're spending money in this game, there's a pack that you can get 5,000 of these in the pack. Okay? Let me be clear to you guys. Do not buy this pack thinking that if you get these, that you can exchange for a free character. That is not how this works. And I found that out. I figured that out for you guys. I took the L, okay? What it actually means is this is a secondary copy. So like if you play Wuthering Waves, for example, and you know in their shop where they have, you can get the next 2 copies, but it's locked until you actually own the character. Right? So think of this shop like that. You have to own the character to use this, and this will double as an extra copy. So please do not buy it thinking it unlocks the characters. There was a content creator who put out information, and I thought that that was the way because of how they said it, but I don't think they truly knew. Now I know, and now I'm telling you guys, do not buy this in that expectation because it's not true. Yeah. Also, when it comes to extra character copies, it's not worth it. There's no reason for you to have an extra copy of a character. If you luck up and get them, cool. But really, truly, it doesn't matter. It's not like other gacha games where when you have more than one character, it changes their abilities and it makes them, you know, super OP. Like, for example, Wuwa, E1 Carlotta, she gets extra crit damage. Like, immense amount of crit damage. That is not the case here. So if you're worried that like in PvP, you're like, oh god, this guy's gonna have like a maxed out character and they're just gonna destroy me with one ability because it's maxed out. Not necessarily, no. It gives them like a slight boost in base stats, but that's pretty much it. Nothing super crazy. So this is also your union shop. I'll show you a union. Union is like your guild. I will be making a guild when I start. So if you guys are interested in joining the guild, cool. I'll put it out there and we can do guild stuff. There's also a mode where you invite people to go into. I'll show you that. That's Phantom Theater. And I'm willing to do that every week for anybody that needs help to try to clear that as high as they can once I get my characters built. So, when it goes live, I will let you guys know what the name of my union is. And I will be willing to invite you guys like every single day that I stream to clear Phantom Theater or try to. You have a Discord? I do. I don't know how to share the link on... Wait, I can share the link on TikTok, can't I? Hold on. Wait, let me just do this. It's be easier. I don't know if you can click it on this on TikTok, but send. There we go. That's the link. Again, I don't know if you can click it, but that's the Discord. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that every week. I enjoy doing that and helping people in Tower Fantasy, and I would enjoy doing that now. I can't promise how strong my teams are going to be, but I'm going to work really hard to build them of everything I've learned, and hopefully I can help carry some people and help them out. The last mode here is called Fearless Arena. It's set up in kind of like a tourney style, so you have 8 players. You have your quarterfinals, then your semifinals, and then your victory. You can play this, and basically the rewards are where you land. So if you get to be the champion, you get a little extra rewards. I believe it places you with people around your, I guess, level. because I haven't gone against someone who had like majorly geared out teams in it, and I actually ended up winning the championship, which was really cool. I won once, but I've lost like a few times. Like, don't get me wrong, I have lost. What is this game? It's called Etheria Restart. Thank you, Nano. So I have lost, but I think if you try it a few times, you can try as many times as you want. You can win. It doesn't matter what your team. I think you can win. But this is only open on Saturdays and Sundays, so there's that as well. You also have an achievement system where you can get rewards, which is really nice. They do disappear after I claim them, so I can't show you the other ones, but you get like, you get materials, you get crystals, you get pulls. Really, really nice. You get some gold, all that kind of stuff, just for basically doing what you do in game anyway, right? So really, really nice. As you can see, well, you can't see on TikTok or really on Twitch because my head's in the way, but basically, like right now, these top two, I'm getting 30 crystals, so see, 60 crystals each. Or not 60 crystals each, 60 crystals in total, so it's really nice. And then you do have this bar up here, which like once you fill it, you do get the reward here. So like pull, crystal, pull. I think I got crystal here, pulls, crystals. This is coins, and then pulls. So there are ways to earn it. Obviously, when you're done with achievements, you're done with achievements. So it's only a one-time thing. Okay, and then there's the pass. I did buy the pass on this account, but I didn't buy it on my free-to-play because I wanted to know, you know, how that goes. This does have pulls and materials and a bunch of good stuff in there for you that you can claim and do stuff every day and all the good stuff. Okay, all the good stuff. It's pretty decent as far as battle passes go. They do have a oh, where's it? This. They do have a monthly pass, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you're a low spender, to buy the monthly pass. It's $5. You get 300 crystals immediately upon buying it, and then 100 crystals every day. So at the end, you'll have like 3,300, which means that that's 3 10 pulls on standard or a limited banner, which is really, really nice. Plus, it gives you 10% extra coins when you do farm for things and stuff, and it gives you a 20% cap, or sorry, a 20 stamina cap to your stamina. So it's really, really nice to have. I personally would recommend it. These are your weekly packs. There's one you get for free that I've already gotten, which gives you stamina and coin every week, so make sure you do that. If you are saving up crystals to do your standard pulls, there's another pack that comes out every week. It's 10 standard pulls with coins, and that's 800 crystals, so you're like saving 200 crystals. So make sure you buy that pack every week, especially if you're free to play or a low spender, so you can save like 200 crystals on a 10 pull. Really nice. What game is this? This game is called Etheria Restart. And then you have all this other stuff you can buy weekly, but honestly, those two are the most efficient. Now, if you're a free-to-play low spender and you're like, listen, Scotty, I really want those Apex pulls. I'll show you why you might feel like this in a moment. But I really want those Apex pulls. Okay, well, you can earn 5 that you can get seasonally. Is it seasonally or weekly? I can't. Oh God, hold on. Let me say it correctly before I mess myself up. Yeah, okay, so seasonally. So you can earn 5 seasonally there, and then you can get another 5 every week with 1,200 crystals. So it is a bit more expensive than the standard pulls. They are more expensive, so I'm warning you now, right? That they are more expensive, so I would not recommend as a free-to-play or low spender you to do this. But if you are just down, set, and determined that is what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. You can get this pack every week if you want. This game is called Etheria Restart. I'll take a drink every time someone asks what this game is. Hey, we're not trying to give you alcohol poisoning. Okay, so let me show you the summons. I don't have the selection banner, but if you guys would like, I can log on to my free-to-play account that still has the selection banner, I believe, on on it, but it's fine. I can show you exactly what's on the selection banner anyway. But anyway, so these are the banners. This is what you're going to be looking at when you get into the game when it comes live, apart from the selection banner also being there. How do you spell it? Here. There you go. So this is the limited banner for the light character Messiah. It's my understanding, if we're using this as a model, when they release limited banners, they're probably going to release they call them original characters. It's basically a character that's any element except for the light and dark. So you have Freya on that one. And the limited banners do have 100 pity. However, when they are the quote-unquote original, aka not light and dark, you can use the standard pulls that you earn in game. So these pulls, you can use them here. And then, like I said, every pull is 100 crystals or 1,000 for a 10 pull. God, my nose, man, I'm so sorry. So you can use those there. However, on this banner, what I'm about to show you, it's 100 pity as well for light character. 300 crystals for one pull, which is 3,000 for 10. Sorry. Hold on. Am I done? Is that the last sneeze? Is there more? Hold on. Okay, that's the last sneeze. Oh, I felt another one coming. That's why I waited. Thank you. I'm telling you, my allergies are just kicking my butt today. Okay. Sorry, I know I sound like doo-doo. Thank you, guys. So this one is 300 crystal for one pull. And you can use those special light and dark pulls that I told you, the Apex prototypes as they're called, to spend on this one. But I'll get to that in a second. And then just to show you, 10 pull is 3,000. So that is 3 times the amount than what it costs to pull in the limited banner and the permanent banner. So if you're free to play low spender, that's one of the reasons I would not recommend doing this, because you are literally losing out on value by doing this. Unless you were just determined, like you really want this character and you will not take no for an answer, that's fine. Just making you aware. Again, this is a permanent banner, so every single limited character, including Freya and Messiah, are already on this banner, as you can see. So Freya is right here, and then Messiah is right here. So they are entered on the banner. However, as you can also probably see, your original animuses, you know, non-light and dark characters, they have a 0.75% chance to drop. It's a theory or restart. Your light and dark characters down here, they have a 0.25% chance to drop. So it is much more rare. So keep that in mind. You can get lucky, absolutely. I've seen people do it. I've done it. I haven't pulled Doki Doki. She's the only one I haven't pulled, but you can absolutely get lucky. But just keep that in mind. That is the percentages. Now for the last banner, and that's why I said I'll get back to that in a second. This banner is special because it's a 1% drop chance for all light and dark characters. Sounds really nice. However, unlike the Messiah banner, see when I press the summon button, it says insufficient Apex prototype, which, like I told you guys, are those light and dark pulls. This banner is the only banner you cannot use crystals on. Period. It will not let you. You have to have those light and dark pulls. And the pity for this banner is 80 pity. But that's why I said I'll come back to that. So if it's a must, if you just want to and you want to save those, that's perfectly fine. But just know they are still more expensive. They are available in purchase packs, but again, expensive. You can get them if you're in the top 100 for Arena, I believe. It's down to 100. I'll have to double check the rewards. But that's a lot of grinding as well. And then you can get them weekly, 5 per week for 1,200 crystals, which so far the game has been generous. But as you know, a lot of times gacha games do end up mellowing out once you finish the initial events, once you finish the story, once you finish your achievements. The rewards start coming in slower because all of that's finished, right? So also keep that in mind as well. So personally, again, if you're free to play low spinner, I would not recommend pulling on this banner. But if you're wanting to every once in a while throw crystals at it weekly, for the 5 pulls just to save up for in the future, if you want to pull on this or pull on this one, that's perfectly fine. That is completely subject to whatever you want. This game is called Etheria Restart. And then I'll show you guys, what was it I was gonna show you? Oh god, my brain just went out my butt. I don't remember. I said I would show you something. I don't remember. It's fine. Okay. So, for those actually wanting to see content, or not content. Not content. For those wanting to see combat, we'll get into it. I actually just hit 35. So I actually just unlocked a lot of content. Also, I haven't done my daily stamina refresh, so we're going to be here for a hot minute doing stuff. But that's perfectly fine. We actually, by hitting 35, we unlocked Nico Nana, which is really cool because now we can unlock these mythic tier shells. And then on this, we can now do hell level. I'm not looking forward to that. And Doki Doki, I believe, as well. Yeah, I can do hell now. Aurora, I haven't even done nightmare yet. Aurora's a pain in the ass. So yeah, time for you guys to watch me get my butt thoroughly beaten into the ground. Yay. This game is called Etheria Restart. All right, before we do that, I have snoozed it twice now, once now, but we have an ad break coming up. And as you can hear, I'm very congested right now. So I'm actually going to take the ad break and I'm going to go blow my nose and get something to drink. And I'm going to go take my puppies outside and see if I can breathe. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do Nico Nana for the first time. So if you guys want to watch me suffer, I'll see you in about 5 minutes, okay? So use this time to get something to drink, something to eat, and we'll be right back. I am so sorry. I am dying today. Okay, we'll be right back. Hello, I am back. I'm sorry, it took a minute. I was trying to find the allergy medicine because I got some over the counter and I'm gonna try it. I tried it once before and it was okay, so hopefully it's okay. Also, I did some thinking on the question of recommending. Oh, you know what? I forgot my drink. Hold on 1 second. I'm not even gonna mute. I'm not gonna even mute. It's gonna be fast. Hold on. Okay. I told you guys to be fast. It was just outside on the counter. I just forgot. Okay. So, I did some thinking on the question of would I recommend free-to-play players to pull on the standard banner? It's a loaded question because in general, the standard banner is really good because it has everyone on it, and you're definitely going to need units to fill out your team. So my answer to that is yes and no. It's really hard. I would. We got the flash over here. I think I would pick a currency. And what I mean by that is you get crystals and you get standard pulls when you play this. So I would pick a currency that you want to use on your standard pulls. So for example, if you say, okay, what if I just use the pulls that I get instead of like the crystals on the standard banner? I think that's good. And that way you're saving one currency or the other. Just for future limited banners, because I don't know how generous this game is going to be after you get through all the, initial. So that's kind of my answer. Just pick a currency and then pull on the standard. And I think once you pull maybe one, maybe two characters off the standard, if you're lucky, I think you should stop there, depending on the characters that you got, and just hold and save just to be on the safe side, because I want you guys to be able to have the currency as free to play or a low spender to be able to pull for future banners. And until we know how that's going to look, I would encourage you to be on the safe side. Okay. So, we're gonna take on Nico Nana. She's a cutie pie. You can also see the clear times. It's kind of insane. Let's see what she does. So she steals turn meter. She does the fence down. Her passive, she starts with a damage reduction, and when attacked, reduces extra damage reduction by 1.5 for every 1 additional speed the attacker possesses compared to the unit. Deals 15% more damage for every 2 turns of action taken by a unit. Ooh, this is gonna be rough. All right, let's go. Wish me luck. Also, thank you for the follow. I'm sorry, I was on a break when you followed, but thank you so much. Oops. Okay. Oh wait, I can only do 4. Okay, I can only do 4. Okay. Oh, I'm not ready. I feel not ready, but we're doing it. Oh. Oh my god. She just chunked the crap out of me. Okay. So we got our shield. I'm gonna go ahead and do an AoE heal. Oh, it purified his stun. Nice. We're gonna... Oh, is this Donkey Kong? I guess, but in a kawaii style. God, I am not doing a lot of damage to her. Okay, so I did have attack down applied on her, so that's actually nice. Saved me from taking a lot of damage there. Ooh, okay. That was a little damage. Okay, we're gonna ult again. Oh god, that wasn't a lot of damage. Oh. Whoa! That was a lot of damage. Ow. Okay, we're gonna actually ult with Ling Luo here. I don't think I can do past Nightmare with her. Holy. Not yet. I'm not ready yet, guys. Ow! Bro, please. Oh my god. We're doing it, but my god, I feel like I'm on the precipice of death every turn. Okay. Ow. Oh my god. Okay, we got our shield back. We got 2 turns until we can get another heal. Oh, not my Lily. Please don't take her out, man. I can't heal again for another turn, please. I beg you, be nice to me. Oh my god, can you leave my Lily alone? Why are you bullying her? Okay, alright, it's okay, we gotta heal. And we remove the defense down. Okay, we are gonna be able to clear this, but my god. Okay. All I'm sure of is that I'm not ready to do the higher tier stuff yet. Let's see if we can remove that debuff from Lily, maybe? Nope, I didn't remove it. Darn. Oh my god! Please! That hurts! Please stop! Oh, she just straight up killed him before I could even get my shield. Oh no! I'm so cooked, guys. I'm so cooked. Oh, I'm so cooked. Oh my god, she got stunned again, bro. Oh, okay. Ah! I have no heal! I don't have a shield either! Oh no. I'm so cooked. I believe. Oh wait, I have a shield! I believe! Oh. Okay, we have ult. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, even with attack down, that still hurt. So bad. Okay, we got it. We got it. Oh my god. Oh no. Okay, wait, do I need Kenai? Do I need Kenai for Heinrich? Wait, hold on. Oh, I don't even have my Google Chrome up. I have a Canva where I put all my recommended stuff on. So I'm gonna check that real quick. That was scary. I'm gonna have to do it again too. I'm not ready, guys. Okay. All right. Let me look. Let me look. Irish. No, he doesn't want Kenai. Who wanted Kenai? Messiah, who I'm not building. Let's see. Who else?